California has always been a symbol of freedom and possibility. People picture themselves basking in sunshine, striking it rich, or starting fresh on its shores. But Joan Didion asks, what if California's promise is just that? A promise never meant to be fulfilled. And her collection of essays, Slouching Towards Bethlehem, explores what lies beneath the golden surface, suggesting that California, rather than being the land of dreams, is a place of lost hope. The California dream traces back to the gold rush. Stories of newfound wealth drew thousands westward, each person hoping to change their fate. After World War II, California's appeal only grew. It became synonymous with prosperity and reinvention. Hollywood and Silicon Valley strengthened the idea that California was a place to be, a land of endless potential. But Didion, who was raised in Sacramento, saw beyond the glamour. She understood California's allure, but also saw the disillusionment lurking beneath it. In her essays, Didion captures the decay beneath California's surface. She writes, "The dream was teaching the dreamers how to live," underscoring a cycle of ambition that eventually turns hollow. To Didion, California cities reflect the disappointment. And Los Angeles, for example, may glitter, but beneath its sparkle lies a crumbling society and social isolation. Her California is not a community, but a gathering of lost souls, each chasing a dream that seems always out of reach. Some dreamers of the golden dream, Didion examines California's obsession with reinvention, showing how ambition can twist into something darker. Set in San Bernardino, the essay follows Lucille Miller, a woman accused of killing her husband in pursuit of wealth and freedom. And Didion portrays Miller's ambition as symbolic of California's broken promise. People arrive seeking paradise, but often discover a brutal reality. And similarly, in Slouching Towards Bethlehem, she turns her gaze to San Francisco's counterculture, a movement brimming with idealism that ultimately falters. She describes it as an improbable situation of narcotics and failed revolutions. And the hopeful energy of the 1960s gets overshadowed by addiction and disillusionment, leaving a generation feeling lost and abandoned. California's appeal lies in its promise of freedom, where many move hoping to redefine themselves or escape conventional life. Didion, however, suggests that this freedom is often an illusion. She argues that California's individualism leads not to liberation but to isolation, leaving people disconnected. Her characters roam in search of meaning but rarely find it, often feeling more lost than when they began. In California, freedom sometimes meaning being left alone, too alone. And the sense of disconnection isn't just limited to California. Didion's insights reflect American values more broadly, using California as a metaphor for a larger American dream. She argues that California's emphasis on image over substance, wealth over connection, it mirrors a broader American priority. A culture that prizes material success over everything else leaves people dissatisfied and alienated. Didion writes of a California as a place where people cross paths but rarely touch. And her work implies that California's shortcomings hint at a larger problem in American culture, where individuality is celebrated but genuine connection remains elusive. Didion's style amplifies her observations. Her tone remains cool and observational, almost clinical, reinforcing the sense of detachment she describes. Vivid imagery brings California's bleakness to life, making it feel both physically and emotionally empty. Though Didion's observations are personal, they are never sentimental. She doesn't just tell us that California is falling short. She shows it through her restrained yet sharp prose. And even as Didion writes specifically about California, her critique applies more widely. The American dream, she suggests, carries promises it rarely keeps. And in her view, California is a reflection of American values, a place where ambition and freedom often give way to loneliness and disappointment. Decades after Slouching Towards Bethlehem was published, California continues to struggle with issues of economic disparity, homelessness, and a lack of affordable housing, echoing Didion's observations of a paradise in decline. Joan Didion's Slouching Towards Bethlehem exposes California's flaws, painting a picture of a dream that often disappoints as much as it delights. And while the American dream can inspire, it sometimes leaves us searching for something more real and lasting. If you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. Your support means the world. And this one could be a good one to watch next.